Good morning, my darlings. Welcome to Vlogmas day 7. How exciting. As you've just seen, today started with a workout with Lauren. Lauren is our personal trainer. Charlie also trains with her at Soho Farmhouse, and she very kindly comes to the house. Sorry, still out of breath from the workout. She comes to the house on Wednesday mornings and trains me, and then she trains Charlie. So I just do one PT session a week and then reformer the rest of the time, and maybe the odd Peloton, which seems to work for me. Oh gosh, I apologize. I should have caught my breath before chatting to you. And this morning's workout outfit, of course, my 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 𝑴𝒆, the best trainers in the business, in my humble opinion, and Adenola leggings, Varley top. I think this t-shirt is actually Bamford, and then my little sports bra that you might have seen earlier is also from Adenola. Today is going to be such a fun day. I can't wait, because we have got a wonderful family friend, Liv, and her new partner coming over for a Christmas lunch. So Charlie's going to be cooking a turkey. Can't wait. Hopefully with all the trimmings. So this is going to kind of be a practice Christmas lunch. Perfect timing, because then we can share how to do it, or Charlie's little tips and tricks with you guys. Over on Charlie's YouTube channel, we have now published the fireplace videos. You can have like a cozy festive fireplace on in the background, and we've also posted his roast potatoes. So you can, it's a really beautifully filmed video as well. So I'd highly recommend checking that out. I'll leave it linked down below, because I know a few of you guys couldn't find it before, so I'll leave it linked down below. But that's the plan for today. But this morning I just need to get loads of washing done, because our washing basket is overflowing. I've just been kind of back to back, as you've seen in London, or like full days out the house recently, which has been lots of fun, but my house chores are stacking up. So kind of boring but practical. Just need to do a few loads of washing and then make sure the house is looking lovely. I'm obviously not going to film when, well, not obviously, but I'm not going to film too much when our guests are here. It's a fairly new relationship, and I don't want to be the one that's like throwing a camera in someone's face. I don't even know if he knows what I do for work, and it is quite, I don't know, it's quite full frontal. So I'll probably be a little bit more subtle when they get here, but I'll film loads and loads of the food prep. But for now, I need to hop in the shower and do a few loads of washing. Welcome to Vlogmas day 7. Just want to show you this because it's quite funny. This is how little Charlie trusts me with his precious washing. To be fair, I have destroyed a few things. He's actually left a note on here reminding me that it's 20 degrees. He is so funny. My goodness me, is that anything more humbling than looking in the mirror or a camera lens first thing in the morning when it's that cold early morning light. This is raw. This is my skin. Here we go. In all honesty, it is a beautiful day today. It's blue skies, it's really chilly, not quite frosty, but it is a seriously nippy one. I think when I first started this YouTube channel, if I thought that I would come on the camera first thing in the morning with not a scrap of makeup on, I would have said, jog on. There is no chance. But I have been on a little bit of a journey with my skin over the last, well, like 5 years especially, and I do feel confident in just coming on the camera with absolutely nothing on my face now, which is, yeah, something that I'm really happy with. You guys will remember probably that ever since COVID, ever since 2020 when we moved here, I think it was 2020, if not early 2021, for a long time I used Skin and Me, which obviously so many people talk about online and so many people use. It's one of these brands that it really just made so much sense, or makes so much sense, not past tense, and took the world by storm with this idea of personalized skincare. But I let you know a few months ago that I've kind of stepped it up to the 𝑭𝒂𝒕 product range, which is more designed if you've kind of graduated from Skin and Me and your skin is, maybe you're thinking, sorry about that airplane noise by the way, what a beautiful day to be up in an airplane. Oh, it's a helicopter. Even better, I would love to take a helicopter ride over the Cotswolds on a day like today. It must be so beautiful, but we don't want too many of them because they are quite loud. Anyway, I feel like I've kind of graduated from Skin and Me. 𝑭𝒂𝒕, it's actually from the same guys that make Skin and Me, so all of the similar premises in that it is personalized skincare, completely tailored to you. You complete an online questionnaire, you are conversing with their team of experts to create a skincare product that's tailored for you. But this is more focused on the age renewal process. It's more for those of us that are thinking about wanting a little bit more anti-aging within our skincare routine. And I'm not gonna lie, it feels like the Net-a-Porter of skincare. It's very luxurious, still very sustainable in everything that they do. Really beautiful premium packaging. This is my serum in a cream. So if you are familiar with 𝑭𝒂𝒕 and maybe also want to switch up to something which is a little bit more targeted for midlife skin, or you're just really starting to think about anti-aging, or you never even tried Skin and Me before and you just want something that's really gonna create a big impact on your skin, but perhaps you don't want to go and see a dermatologist, you want something that's far more affordable and far easier to get your hands on, then I couldn't recommend this any more highly. The serum in a cream, I apply this in the evenings, very importantly, but I will show you, because let's be honest, it's pitch black when I show you in the evenings. This is my new bottle. They deliver it to you once a month. It's I do 3 or 4 pumps and that lasts me around 30 days. Really beautiful consistency, and as you might be able to guess from the name, serum in a cream, I'm not going to waste it, I'm going to put it on the back of my hands. You get all of the incredible anti-aging benefits and the targeted skincare treatments for your specific skin based on your questionnaire results. And you also have the protective and nourishing power of a moisturizer all in one. So we're all busy people. We like to have one product that's just going to be 4 pumps or however many pumps you want to do. Pop it on your face, a little bit down your neck, and you're done. You don't need to think about anything else. It's literally taken all of the guesswork out of that evening skincare routine. So I will show you it as part of my evening routine later on, but if you use the code JOSIGLOW, that will get you an incredible discount on your 𝑭𝒂𝒕 journey. And there are other products within the range as well. There's an eye serum if you want to have something even more targeted to the eye area. There's also a daily moisturizer with SPF 50 in, because this has got very potent active ingredients, which are obviously very effective at improving the signs of aging, like wrinkles and discoloration, things like that. It's so important that you use an SPF. So JOSIGLOW is the discount code that you need. I would so highly recommend checking out the serum in a cream, but it should also work on other products on the 𝑭𝒂𝒕 website as well. So as I mentioned, I'll show you this as part of my evening routine a little bit later. For now, I'm going to pop on my moisturizer and my makeup. We've got a couple of calls this morning, and then we're going to get started with our Christmas cooking, which I'm so excited about. The house is going to smell amazing, and we'll probably have some leftovers as well. So I think tomorrow I might show you, or ask Charlie to show you, a few festive ideas on what to do with your leftovers, so that should be good fun. But anyway, all of the details for 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, the discount code that you need, will be linked down below. Amazing thing to treat yourself to if you want to really step up your potent skincare for the new year. If you want to take the guesswork out of your skincare routine, have something that is personalized to you. Or you could even gift it to someone if maybe your mum or your sister is really into their skincare that really delivers visible results. You can literally see results within a week with this, and then 12 weeks people will be asking you what you've been doing differently. So I think it'll make a really nice gift idea as well. So make the most of the discount code. Okay, my darlings, I'm gonna go and get dressed, and I'll see you in the kitchen. Hello again, my darlings. It is a few hours later. I've done 4 loads of washing and a lot of laptop time this morning, which you have not needed to see because that's just rather boring. I've also been doing a little bit of work on Charlie's YouTube channel, getting the roast potato video, making sure that's live, and also this fireplace here. So you can now see 3 videos on his channel, maybe even more by the time this goes live. And what we'd love for you to do, and the whole point is for you to just leave the fireplace videos rolling in the background while you're in your living room. It's got crackling ASMR noises. I think one of them is 2 hours long and one of them is 90 minutes. If you watch closely, you might be able to see where we loop it because it's impossible to keep a fire looking perfect for that long. But honestly, I feel like psychologically it makes you feel warmer and more cozy in your home, just having that on in the background. So if you do have a cozy setup, please take a picture and tag me and Charlie so that we can see. I'd love to see your lovely cozy setups with our fireplace crackling away in the background. Now, okay, we're gonna be doing our turkey dinner tonight, and I thought we could run through, I'm gonna do the cauliflower cheese and a little bit of the prep. Those are my tasks on Christmas Day, and then Charlie will come down and talk about the meat and the other side dishes, many of which we probably will do videos specifically on his channel. I like to do my bits, do my prep, and then get out of the kitchen. Does anyone else's husband just for some reason get very stressed around Christmas time? Charlie definitely does. So I like to just do my bit and then get away and not distract him. So cauliflower cheese, very, very similar to mac and cheese. So obviously it is my duty to get this perfect. And I'm going to show you, I probably have done in the past, but I'm going to show you once again how I do it. So because there's only 4 of us this evening, we only need 1 cauliflower. Sometimes I will also use a broccoli, and I'll cook the broccoli, I'll steam it, and I'll blend that into the sauce, and then it's a really lovely hearty cauliflower and broccoli cheese. But tonight we are just doing a pure cauliflower. So the first thing that I'm going to do is take off the green bits, but importantly, I'm not going to throw them away because they will be very important parts of the kind of presentation when we do the final roasting. So just getting rid of the green but storing them. Excuse my coffee, let me just show you what else I've got here. So these are the roasting dishes that I use really frequently for roasting vegetables. I think they're from 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, and we've also got some from Falcon Enamelware. So you've got your nice, preferably organic cauliflower. Then of course, really important are your cheeses. Essentials are Parmesan and cheddar. The better quality your cheese is, the better your cauliflower cheese will taste. So I would recommend a really nice nutty cheddar. And then if you really want to add extra nuttiness and that little bit of stringiness, Gruyere is an absolute dream. For the for the cauliflower cheese sauce, I'll leave my mac and cheese recipe blog post down below because it's very, very similar to my base mac and cheese recipe. Maybe just a littlest bit looser, like a little bit more milky. So you want a nice whole milk, some plain flour, some butter, real butter, not margarine, salt and pepper obviously, and then some nutmeg. I've got whole nutmeg and ground nutmeg. In this instance, I'll use a pinch of ground nutmeg in the actual sauce, and then I'll probably just grate some whole nutmeg over the top to finish with. The kind of crunchy bit on top of the cauliflower cheese, that really depends on how much time I have. In a dream world, we want to do my brown butter, herby, crispy breadcrumb topping. That is #1 option. Maybe with some almonds in there as well. That is so delicious. But worst case scenario, if we don't have time for that, I just blitz up some slightly stale breadcrumbs in the Thermomix and sprinkle them on top with some parmesan, and that is also absolutely lovely. So, okay, I'm going to chop up my cauliflower into little florets. Now I'm drizzling the florets with olive oil, and I'm going to give them a little sprinkling with salt, and then these are basically going to go in the oven. I don't want them to completely roast, not fully cooked, but I do want them to get nice and brown on the top, because roasting just really, in my opinion, enhances the flavour. And let's be honest, cauliflower is not the most exciting, so we need to do as much as we can to really get some amazing flavour. And I'll just basically leave these roasting the entire time that I'm making my cheese sauce, probably giving them a little toss and turn so they're completely covered in oil and going crispy halfway through my sauce prep time. I have got a confession. We're not going to be eating until fairly later on this evening, so I've actually saved a little bit of pasta, and I'm planning on making a little bit too much cheese sauce and having a mid-afternoon mini mac and cheese. I know it's a bit naughty, but if I'm making cheese sauce, I just have to have a mac and cheese. You guys have seen me make a mac and cheese and make this cheese sauce a million times over, so I'm actually not going to show it in this vlog because it's getting a little bit repetitive. I think I'm going to do an upgraded, maybe even pistachio festive mac and cheese in an upcoming vlog, so let me know if you want to see that. But for now, I'm going to crack on with the cheese sauce, and when Charlie's finished his emails, hopefully he said he'd be down in 5 minutes, then he's going to talk us through the main event. Hello again, my darlings. It is 20 minutes later and I've made my wonderful cheese sauce in the same way as my mac and cheese, but as I mentioned, just a little bit more milk to make it that little bit looser. The cauliflower has been roasting away in the oven, and I'll just show you it's starting to get a little bit brown, but certainly not fully roasted. I would definitely recommend oven gloves, by the way. Jumper sleeves are not to be recommended. So I've decided actually I'm not going to be doing the leaves around the edges. They sometimes do get a little bit burnt, and I'm not going to lie, those leaves were not perfection. So we're just going to tip the cauliflower into the dish that we'll be serving it in. Give it a little shake around so it's all even in the bottom, and then I'm pouring my cheese sauce on top. I would normally do this on the hob, but today I did it in the Thermomix just because speed and time is of the essence. So I'm pouring it over, and I've made this extra nutmeggy. Now I am just going to sprinkle a little bit of parmesan over the top and put this in the lower oven, because this is not the final cook before it's going to go out on the table. We just want to have this kind of slow cooking. It's almost like a slow cooked cauliflower cheese. This is one way that you can just get a dish done. You could leave it on the side or covered in some foil in the fridge like this for a couple of hours, but I'm just going to put this in the low oven, and then I'll add my breadcrumbs for that final blitz before we're ready to serve. Okay, my darlings, amateur hour is over. Charlie Irons is in the kitchen.
Wow, that's pressure.
I know, at least I'm happy to admit it. So
I think you'll be hard on yourself. I think you're very good at certain things like soup. You're very good at. You've got really good at cauliflower cheese. You're obviously very good at mac and cheese.
Thank you.
You just don't have as much time. And equally, I'm less comfortable when it's not a roast. When it comes to something that's like a roast,
yeah,
I'm pretty confident.
Yeah.
And yeah, so today we are rather excited. We're working with Piper's Farm. So for those of you that aren't familiar, Piper's Farm is an online, but essentially they are a butchery in that that's their bread and butter.
Yeah.
However, well, they're beef and bacon. However, they sell a hell of a lot more than that, and we'll talk about that in a minute. They've got pantry items, they've got delicious pastas, they've got loads of amazing products on pipersfarm.com.
Yeah.
However, their hero products for me are obviously their meat.
Yes.
And their meat arrives, it's organic, it's super sustainable, it's very ethical. The animal is at the forefront of what? The welfare. The welfare of the animal is at the forefront of what they do. They're based in Devon. They have some amazing partnered farms.
Yeah.
So they've partnered with a lot of local farmers. And yeah, they're the good guys, I think. They support local farmers, which we're obviously very passionate about where we live. So we were customers originally. This is how we love working with brands, Josie and I, and probably 90% of the brands that you see us working with, this is how it's worked, in that we were customers and big fans first. We featured them on the vlogs, we've asked you guys to go and support them as well, and then they've been in touch, or maybe we've emailed them and said, look, we featured you here, and then eventually it's turned into some sort of paid partnership, which is how we love working with brands and how I think more YouTubers hopefully will or should work with brands.
Yeah.
So yeah, very excited to be finally working with Piper's Farm, and we'll always be supporting them. Today we're going to be talking about Christmas, given the time of the year. And actually this is 100% authentic, because this year we're not going to be doing a whole big turkey, because a number of our family members are either visiting other family or going to be staying with my nan for Christmas lunch. So I'm going to be only cooking properly for, I think, how many is it? 5 of us. We had 14 here 3 years ago, the year after COVID.
Yeah.
And for Christmas lunch, we're only going to be 5, with my mum and dad arriving later, so we will have leftovers.
Yes.
Together as well.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with the hero product for me anyway this year from Piper's Farm, which is their simplest turkey.
Yeah. But am I right in thinking that we got like a bundle box, a Christmas turkey and trimmings box, and you can specify how many people you want it for?
Yes, I think you can do 4 to 6 and
12 is the maximum.
12 is the maximum, maybe. Then you would have more than one, obviously.
But then you just have everything that you need.
And we bought this as genuine customers last year as well for Christmas. We didn't have a whole turkey for Christmas last year either. Yeah. But this year, as I say, there's less of us. I love cooking a whole turkey, but it is a lot of work and a lot of preparation. And I think this is going to enable me to spend more time on all the other dishes. Yeah. Make sure they're the best roasties ever. Make sure it's the best carrot, honey or maple roasted parsnip and carrot ever. And they remove a lot of the stress with the turkey. So this arrives frozen. Yeah. That's the key of Piper's Farm. Everything arrives frozen, which I think for some people can be an initial hurdle, but ultimately it means it's even fresher. Yeah. It arrives, it's in your freezer. You just need to set a reminder on your phone, which is what I did yesterday. Yeah. To get it out the night before. Yeah. Got this out. I put it in the fridge and let it defrost in a tray like this. And then I took it out this morning. And in the simplest turkey kit, what you end up getting is and this is rolled turkey. So you've got the breast, and I think this is the darker meat here. So you've got both. Yeah. You have there's a number of different stuffings. This is apricot and hazelnut. Yes. Which sounds amazing. You've got sage, you've got more classic ones.
Because also in previous years, you have spent so long making the stuffing, and you know what? People only eat a little bit. I think this year, being our 5th Christmas in this house, we've realised where it's important to put our energy.
100%. It's like in business, like anything in life, and as we all get older, if you just really focus on certain areas that really you get a lot back. So as I say, definitely invest. Provenance in food, provenance is going to be something we keep talking about next year. Probably going to be bored of us talking about it. But provenance of almost everything. Provenance of where you're buying your shoes, where you're buying what fashion pieces you're buying, and your food is so important. And I think the world, certainly the UK, people that can afford to question where things are from, not everyone can, but when you have the opportunity to say, actually, is that made in the UK or is that from the UK? Obviously all of this that's amazing. Yeah. So obviously slight tangent. So the best thing about this is it just removes all the stress. Yeah. Right? So this is going to be ready in roughly around an hour. Yeah. The turkey's all here. It's also, we'll show you when we get to it, but this makes it so much easier to carve. Because for me, the 2 hassles for the turkey are prepping it, and obviously that means making the stuffing. Yeah. Actually physically prepping the bird. It's quite nostalgic and quite enjoyable. Yeah. But it's also a lot of work. Yeah. And also storing a flipping turkey in the fridge. Yeah. Because a turkey for 12 people is a big turkey, right? Yeah. Whereas this will be enough. I think this is for 8 people. I
think it's a 10-person one actually.
We should really know, but this is quite a lot. Yeah. The other nice thing is the kit comes with turkey stock, and this is amazing. Yeah. Now I'll be making the gravy today from scratch, and we'll have it with this. But actually, I've done a video on my YouTube which will be coming out I think next week, with regards to making your gravy a couple of days before Christmas.
Oh, Get Ahead Gravy.
Get Ahead Gravy. Copy Jamie Oliver on that front. Always happy to credit the fact that a lot of my cooking knowledge has come from Jamie Oliver.
But you always add your twist to it. You've elevated Jamie Oliver's recipes.
I think so, and obviously we have an ARG and there's different elements, and look, no credit to where credit's due. I don't think Jamie Oliver's is focused on provenance and the importance of certain ingredients he just is so good at making cooking accessible.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think that guy needs a knighthood, because he's made cooking so accessible.
Yeah.
Not so good at running Italian restaurants.
No, not so good at Italians. This is all free-range turkey, isn't it?
All free range, all organic.
Yeah.
And ultimately, when it comes to the gravy, today we're going to make it from scratch. We're going to use the juices from this. But if it's my get ahead gravy, copyright Sir Jamie Oliver at that time.
We need a new version of get ahead gravy.
But we would use
Charlie's
okay,
in charge. I don't know.
But what we would use is we'd use chicken wings. So you would basically make the gravy a couple of days before in the same way as this, but you wouldn't have the meat obviously. So you'd use chicken wings, which are obviously quite similar to turkey flavour.
Yeah.
And then you get a really nice thick hearty gravy a couple of days before, and then you'd add the juices that you get from this and the trivet you use for this into that on the day. So that is something that we will be doing on the day. The day before, at least. The other thing you get in the kit are the pigs in blankets, and I'm honestly not just saying this. These are to date the best pigs in blankets.
They are
Look at the size of them for one.
Yeah.
My rule is you need at least 4 per person.
I agree, because they will never go to waste. Even cold pigs. Do you know what's really good?
Good as a canapé.
Great as a canapé, dipped in red currant jelly or cranberry sauce, but also, you know that like 2 hours after you finish your Christmas dinner, I'll go back and I'll forage like the turkey.
We're going to do a leftovers video as well.
Yeah.
But you want some of those left over, because what you want to be able to do is heat them up, cut them down the middle, so split them down the middle,
bacon butty.
Stick them on a nice bit of French bread with butter,
gosh.
a bit of brown sauce or cranberry sauce, maybe a bit of brie, and just bang.
Let's have that for our breakfast tomorrow.
Maybe.
Oh, yes.
And then the other product that we're going to be using from Piper's Farm today is their free-range goose fat. I used that in my roasties video. We're going to be doing roasties, but you're going to have to check out my other YouTube video.
Hey.
Link down below.
We linked up on the screen.
But yeah, please do watch them, because otherwise I'll just give up pretty quickly. Unlike Josie, who's got the durability of a big analogy.
Duracell bunny.
No, that's not durable. They're just energetic. They do run out eventually.
Oh.
Anyway, free-range goose fat. Goose fat, I always like to use an animal fat. Obviously, if you eat meat, animal fat for roast potatoes will just take them to a whole other level.
Yeah.
And at Christmas, it feels right to use goose fat. They'll make them a hell of a lot crispier.
Yeah. You
can obviously use olive oil, but I just don't think it's quite as good. And at most actual chefs, obviously I'm not really a proper chef, most actual chefs will all use goose fat. Yeah. Or duck fat or beef dripping. So yeah, we're gonna get started. But yeah, I mean, in terms of taking all the stress out, this is just so straightforward, so easy. And when it comes to carving, sorry, we went off on a tangent. When it comes to carving, that is, to be honest, for me, carving, I still find carving a chicken and a turkey quite stressful. Yeah. Carving beef, carving pork, carving lamb, dead easy, because it's normally a joint or a shoulder or whatever. When it comes to carving a turkey, it's hectic, and you normally got a house full of people, everyone's had a drink,
everyone wants to help,
you've got things bubbling away. Yeah. This, you put it on the board, you get a really nice sharp knife and cut through it, and it's just amazing, and it sits lovely on the plate. It does. So I think, with no further ado, let's get cracking. Yeah, should we start with the roast potatoes? Is that logistical? We're going to start with the roasties. Yeah. We're going to do, we'll give you a few little tips as we go, but most of the tips are going to be in my other video. I'm not going to give too much away. No, that's okay. So we'll peel the potatoes and then we'll come back to the turkey. Just give us one roast potato cooking tip, darling, to lure us to your video. You 3, mate. 3? Gosh, we're so lucky. So we've already given you 1, but I'm going to give you 3 more. So 1 is obviously using animal fat if you eat meat. Yeah. Because it just makes them a lot crispier. Number 2 is how you peel them matters. So I like to peel them so that you have lots of different angles on them. Because what happens is, when that sits in the fat, that will make all these little angles crispy. You get really crispy bits. Yeah. If you were to just do it so it's a really round potato, it wouldn't have the same effect. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2. No, that was tip number 2. And that was tip number 2. Yeah. And that's, okay. And the final tip is provenance. So with regards to where you actually get the potato from. Yeah. So don't get too, on one hand, don't get too carried away about what they are. Everyone goes crazy for Maris Piper King Edward. I would probably just go to a farm shop and find something that they recommend that's in season. But equally, don't go and get anything that's too small or too big. Okay. You want potatoes around this size for the perfect roast potato. Anything smaller and they just get lost in the oil. Okay.
Thanks for the tips, mate.
Thanks.
While Charlie does that, we have got an epic playlist in the background. We've actually created a playlist which is called Christmas in the Cotswolds. And if you want to listen to some of the lovely music that we've been using within the Vlogmas videos, including ''𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 𝑴𝒆, which is the Vlogmas intro song, you guys can actually access this playlist on Spotify as well. I've made it public. So it's songs that you'll be familiar with if you've listened to Vlogmas, like that really beautiful, what was it? Oh, come let us adore him. Loads of you commented on the drone video where we had a really beautiful Come Let Us Adore Him. That's on this playlist as well. So yeah, just really beautiful, easy background music to listen to. Christmas songs. It's called Christmas in the Cotswolds. And you should be able to find it. You could find my name. I'm still under Josephine Fear. I need to change that. But I'll leave it linked down below. Spuds are peeled. What's next, darling?
Spuds are peeled and cut, and then we're going to get the goose fat in the pan. I tend to get the potatoes on. Look, it varies. This is the thing with a Sunday roast and with a Christmas lunch. There's no perfect exact timing. You kind of have to just listen to the food. You have to be in there. You have to just fiddle with stuff. Make sure everything's going as it should be. But with the potatoes, when I get them on, I tend to get the fat in the oven. With goose fat, I think it has quite a high smoke point, so you can heat it. If it was olive oil, you'd maybe want olive oil later. You wouldn't probably add olive oil to the oven quite this early, because I think it would burn. But you can add the goose fat, and now I'm going to put it in the top oven of the 𝑭𝒂𝒕, which is around 220. You want them at quite hot. Basically, the aim is you want the fat in here, and when you drain these potatoes, we're going to let them steam a little bit. The mistake that I always used to make, and that a lot of people make, is you drain them and you stick them straight in.
Yeah.
I don't know the science behind it, but there is some actual sort of Heston style
I
science.
think it almost slightly solidifies the outer shell of the potato.
Might be
So then
what it
you
is.
get the fluffy inside.
And the crack,
yeah, because it does make a difference.
To be honest, it's something that I'm learning, is to sort of, just as we do in other bits of life, question everything. Why am I doing this?
Yeah.
If there's a reason, keep doing it. If there isn't, probably
Ditch
change
it.
up. There is a reason, but I don't know the exact fact, but you might be right with that one.
Yeah.
So yes, then when you add them to the pan, you want a bit like you would with the Yorkshire pudding.
Yeah.
No issue if you don't get it, but ultimately that's what you want to achieve. The other mistake, and then you will have to go to my video, is that historically I would get a bit too OCD with them and turn the potatoes a lot.
Yeah,
you want
that breaks them apart.
You want to get them all on that flat side if you can, and you want to give them half the time on that flat side. Right, in the oil, but you want them coated in it. Then you want to add your garlics, your herbs, ideally rosemary, and then start turning them, and that's when they'll really come to life.
Let's get them in then, mate.
Let's get them in.
Woohoo! Nice. Spreading it over the pan.
Yeah.
How much did you use then? You're quite generous, aren't you?
Yeah, fairly generous. Once again, look, you can obviously, if you put too much in there, all that's really going to happen is they're going to take a lot longer.
Yeah.
Because they're wetter, and they're going to absorb the fat, and they're going to take longer to go crispy. You can always add a little bit more in later on, but you can't take it out. So that's the aim. We're going to coat the pan like that.
Just for everyone's knowledge on timings, say for ease you want to eat your Christmas dinner at 5. What time should you start preparing your spuds? 2?
I always have 2 hours in my head for potatoes, from start to finish.
Okay.
But really, it's nearer 2.5 hours.
Oh, okay.
Because with the peeling and the prep, 10-15 minutes faffing around, getting the water boiling, they could take anywhere between 8 and maybe 12 minutes to boil.
I'd say longer.
Always boil them a bit further than you think.
Yes.
That's where I'm giving all the facts away in this. But it depends on how small you've cut them exactly and the size of the potato and the variety. But the potatoes are the first, if you've already made your gravy, the potatoes are the first thing you need to do. And get them in. And the other beauty of potatoes, look, a lot of things here can be taken out when they're ready and then slightly reheated. Yeah. And that's what a lot of chefs will do. But the potatoes are exactly like that. So you can get them right ready. And if you're worried, I mean, look, the reality is you can't really over roast them.
Yeah. You know, so start them 3 hours before. Yeah,
get ahead on the potatoes, because I think out of everything that could go wrong, there is nothing worse than the potatoes not being quite ready and everything else being ready.
Yeah, totally.
So get ahead on them.
Okay. What's next?
And we judge pub roast dinners, pub roast and Sunday roast, which are largely average in this country. We judge them on the roasties, don't we?
They're all average compared to yours, darling.
Well, no, I think it is tricky. It's tricky doing roast potatoes for a lot of people because you've got to reheat them and and a lot of pubs now have got really into like deep frying them. I think.
Triple cooked.
And that means they're really crispy, but there's no fluff.
Sometimes they're a bit solid, aren't they?
You have to get the fluffiness.
Gotta
If
get
there's
the
not
fluff.
fluffiness to absorb gravy, then you've failed.
Yeah. What's next with the turkey?
So next, it's really straightforward now, right? So we're going to basically, what we're going to do is we're going to line these up, get ahead of ourselves.
Should I do that?
You're going to do that, yeah, great. And we want to put them on a raised tray, you know, like you would with bacon. Keep them separate so the fat drips. You don't want these sat in the fat.
No. Why not?
Because I don't know. They just once again I don't actually really know, but I guess because they go soggier. If you let the fat drip off, and that's when they go crispy.
Ooh.
I mean, look, I think they still would cook like that, but it's the same with bacon. If you're doing bacon in an oven, you wouldn't just lay it flat out on a tray, would you?
No.
They'll also stick, because that's the other problem.
Okay.
And then these we're going to put in sort of tin foil gravy boats
yeah.
as per the instructions.
Yeah.
And then we've already got the oven.
Which makes it so much easier for washing up.
Yeah, I mean even the size of the pan, right? Like a turkey for 12 people, you need a bigger pan.
Yeah.
It gets quite stressful. This just removes the stress.
We'll leave our pans linked down below.
And I think if we want one thing to come out of our Christmas food content, is it would be so lovely to think that we've encouraged and inspired more people to host Christmas when you're younger. Because I think it is daunting, and we were kind of like, we're very lucky because both of our parents hosted a lot. Very lucky because both of our mums are good cooks. And we grew up in a house where we helped out a lot, but you know, it's nice to give your parents or your grandparents or other family members a break at Christmas and host, and we love it, don't we?
We do.
And you know what, it's not as hard as it looks.
No. Right, let's get cooking.
I've gone into growing this, so why would you then, and you spent a lot of money on it probably if it's organic, why would you then peel off and get rid of loads of goodness?
Yeah.
So look, with the potatoes obviously you need to peel them, but when it comes to veg like this, we've got the parsnips and the carrots. If you just invest in a veg brush, obviously don't confuse it with your washing up brush because that'll be less hygienic, and you just give it underwater, a real firm scrub down, it gets all the dirt off, removes sort of a little bit of the skin without removing too much, and that is still then a lovely veg. So as we talked about earlier, we're going to be making the gravy at the same time today. So rather than making the gravy the day before or a couple of days before as on Christmas Day, we're going to get the veg in a trivet here. You can pretty much use whatever sort of veg you want in a trivet. Ultimately, I always like to use a few carrots for a bit of sweetness. Celery and onions and garlic are a must.
And you can use the tops of the celery that you
we can use the whole lot. So make sure you give everything a good rinse. And then you're just going to loosely chop it at an angle, ideally. In the tray, you're going to add a tiny bit of olive oil. With regards to this setup, I'm actually going to start this off before we put the turkey in. Because I want this to cook for a bit longer than an hour.
Okay.
So I'm going to get this in for about 20 minutes. Then we're going to add the turkey to the pan. Then, once at the end the meat's resting, that's when the gravy comes to life, and we'll be making the most of the stock, the pure stock from Piper's Farm.
So are you going to do the turkey in the foil boats and then pour the juice from the boats into the gravy?
Into the gravy.
Nice.
Yeah. So I think that's the way we're going to do this. I don't know how Piper's Farm exactly recommend it, but I think they probably would suggest this, because then you're going to get a really nice gravy. But yeah, my go-to for the trivet, this is often called the trivet, which keeps the meat off the base of the pan.
Yeah.
Because we're using tin foil, I think that would already do the job. But this is going to create the base of your gravy. The must-haves in here are carrots, celery, onions. I normally like to mix them, but we've got white onions today. Garlic, I'll chuck a whole bulb of garlic in here.
Do you slice it up? Do you slice the garlic?
The garlic, no, just the cloves smashed.
Oh, smashed, okay.
Open them up, open the cloves up. I mean, I actually quite like to have a mixture of both, because then you get different exposure of the garlic. And then, if we had a leek, I would like to stick a leek in here, because it adds a different flavour, but we don't have any today. So yeah, it's a good way of making the most of veg that you're not going to use.
Do you know what I'm excited about? I'm just thinking about our pigs in blanket sausage butty we're going to have in the morning.
Oh, yes.
That is going to be good. So where are we at with the trivet?
So the trivet is going to go in the oven. It's looking like this. We'll add herbs to it when we put the foil boats of turkey in. I'm going to use the oven for this just because it's easier to control the temperature. We're very lucky we've got an oven and an Argo. So the trivet's going to go in at 200 degrees. The idea then is going to be, we're going to give it about 15 or 20 minutes to really get going. I've forgotten the garlic, so I'm going to add the garlic to it. And then we're going to add the turkey as per the Piper's Farm instructions in sort of nice...
Should we show everybody how to make a boat?
Yeah, we'll do that now. So this isn't something that I've necessarily done a lot of, but it makes total sense because it's going to protect the meat. Now, I think we're going to season this slightly. I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil and a bit of sea salt and a bit of pepper. as I would any other joint of meat, because I think that's what you want to do. Right, I should not wash my hands. Okay, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of salt on top. A tiny bit on the underside of this. And then a little bit of pepper. And we're going to parcel this up. So when it comes to parceling it up, this isn't big enough. As we just found out, you actually need quite a big roll of tin foil, which luckily we have 2 sizes. We are going to parcel this up. Now I don't think there's a magic trick to this, but I know that you want to leave enough room for airflow. Oh. So you want to leave a little opening on each side of this. You want to parcel it up like that and leave a little opening like this. And it is going to protect the meat. There you go, like that.
Like a little handbag.
Not the prettiest. You're not going to get pretty with my cooking like that. But yeah, that's how you do it as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
And it is a little bit like a boat. So you're going to get both those done. I'm going to quickly check on the trivet. It's already started to smell rather good. I'm just going to leave, as I say, I'm going to leave that for 20 minutes total, so another 10 minutes. Get it started. And then we're going to sit those on there. And then we'll be away.
And what about your carrots?
So carrots, your mum is coming over to help us eat this, and your mum doesn't like honey. So we're going to use maple syrup, and we're going to use this lovely whole grain mustard from 𝑭𝒂𝒕𝒊𝒐𝒏. But actually, Piper's Farm do also have lots of lovely whole grain mustard. Nice. I'm trying to think, because we've got the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 preserves, which Piper's Farm stock. This is their cranberry sauce with port. But yeah, I mean, look, you can use whatever whole grain mustard you can get hold of, mix it with the maple syrup, and then we're going to coat the parsnips and the carrots in that.
Nice.
And then we're going to get them in the oven.
Now you have burnt these a couple of times before, so how long do you recommend cooking them for?
These I've made a mistake with before. I put them in too hot an oven.
Okay.
But also just don't forget about them, because you've got a lot to think about, obviously, when you're doing a roast.
Low and slow?
No, I actually think less time. Do you know where I have often found that it works best is if you coat them in here, put them in a bowl, stick this pan with a tiny bit of olive oil in the oven, get the pan nice and hot like you would roasties, and then add them in, then you get the real crispiness. So that's actually what we're going to do. I shouldn't have started them in there, but I'm honest. And I'm going to put them in a bowl and coat them in this, but I'll mix this together in a bowl so it's almost like a dressing.
Nice.
And then that will have flavour, and then we'll get some fresh thyme in there towards the end.
Gorgeous.
Okay, it is ready, I believe. We're bringing it out here. It smells amazing. So what I'm going to do, as per their instructions, I'm going to take these over here and we're going to let that rest. And when the meat's resting, this applies to any Sunday roast, that is when magic happens, and that's when you make your gravy.
Amazing.
So that's the trivet we're left with. We're going to pick all the sort of incinerated herbs out of it. They'll have already infused that little bit. And then we're going to add some of those meat juices back into this.
Oh, that's so clever.
Like that. Lovely. And this one's going to have quite a lot, I imagine. He says, maybe not.
Oh, how interesting. The smaller one had more.
It's just that it's stuck in there. So, get these out like this. Do you know what we're actually also going to do? We're going to start making the gravy, but we're going to put them in just to get the skin crispy and put them back in for a little bit longer.
Nice.
I'm going to stop now.
So you've put some flour?
So we've added corn flour to this, which is what helps thicken the gravy. Then you want to add your stock in.
Nice.
This is going to be a good amount of gravy here.
And you can freeze the gravy? You could make this the day before?
You could freeze this. This would probably last 2 or 3 days, this gravy, but I mean, my advice, it depends obviously, but if it's Christmas, obviously you can make the gravy, I would say 2 days before. Probably wouldn't do it that much before. You could obviously freeze it, but in general, obviously, say you're making this gravy now for a Sunday roast, and say it wasn't turkey, say it was beef or lamb, I would then do like a shepherd's pie on Tuesday and use the gravy and that.
Oh, that's a good idea.
So I think personally, sometimes that's the best way to make sure you make the most of everything.
That is such a good idea.
It'd be amazing. I mean, you can never have too much gravy.
I agree.
I
could drink it.
Run out of gravy, obviously.
No.
So yeah, we're gonna let that simmer for a bit. Then I'll move it onto the hotter hob. It's a sort of, I don't know what you'd even say, like a medium heat, I guess. You don't want it to overboil. But what's going to happen is, as the stock heats up, the cornflour's going to cook and make it thicker.
Thicker.
Then we're going to strain it, then we're going to add a bit of butter, probably add a little bit of cranberry or something to add some sweetness, and it's as simple as that.
Does it get darker in colour? Because traditionally gravy's dark brown, right?
Well, no, that's the thing, isn't it? So this dough has absolutely no real meat in it. The reason it's dark brown, I imagine, is because there's colouring in it.
Food dye.
So
you don't need your gravy to be dark brown?
No.
No. It's just a rumour.
I guess, you know, ultimately the gravy will go the colour of, you know, different stocks. Yeah, it depends on what you're cooking. Like a pork or chicken gravy would probably always look a bit more like this colour.
Yeah.
I don't know how, yeah, I think that's why people used to use browning, which once again is just a bottle of like colouring.
Yeah.
There's no real food in it.
No.
I mean, question anything that's in a bottle that lasts for a year. But there you go. But yeah, it's pretty simple.
Smelling
Hopefully
good.
That'll start bubbling away, and then we'll have the gravy. Cranberry sauce. This I believe we did buy from Piper's Farm a while ago. We'll have to double check that. But we're going to add some of this into the gravy. Now this is just going to add a little bit of sweetness. Now you can obviously add blackberry jam, applesauce if you're making a pork gravy. But in this case, obviously, given we're going to be having some lovely cranberry with the turkey, cranberry made sense. If you can see from there, this is now getting nice and thick, looking a bit more like gravy. So we're going to give it another minute. The meat's resting, so we're going to need to get this gravy off the hob, strain it, and then we will be nearly there. So there we have the pigs in blankets from Piper's Farm. Some are super crispy for you. So you like them super crispy, don't you?
I do.
I could just eat these with cranberry sauce, to be honest.
Bangers and mash with pigs in blankets.
Well, that would work well, actually, wouldn't it? So we're just going to take this string off. And then it should be super easy to carve. I'm never very good with this. So we've taken the string off. This is the darker meat, so we need to double check, but I think this must be a rolled leg, maybe?
I'm not sure.
And then you just want, obviously, nice long strokes.
Where's the knife from?
Oh, yes. This is from, I think it's actually pronounced 𝑭𝒂𝒐 forest. Do you remember we heard it on that documentary recently? I always called them 𝑭𝒂𝒐, but they are British made knives. So yeah, you just get really nice medallions of this here. It's going to go in there. Proper gravy. There we have it. Our simplest turkey. We've got our goose fat potatoes, Josie's cauliflower and broccoli cheese, or cauliflower cheese.
Cauliflower cheese.
We've got the lovely pigs in blankets. These are maple syrup and honey mustard glazed carrots and parsnips. And then our homemade gravy using Piper's Farm turkey stock.
Where are the Brussels sprouts?
None today, but we will be doing some soon, probably with the help of some Piper's Farm chestnuts. Well, they've got lovely chestnuts, haven't they? Anyway, let's dig in.
Good evening, my darlings. I apologise for the lighting. I need to bring down my little light, that little TikTok light that everybody has, because actually it makes such a difference if I bring it down here. We had the most delicious meal. That turkey was exceptional. I actually can't wait to eat the leftovers, which is telling of how scrumptious it was. And then we had a Piper's Farm mince pie afterwards with some brandy butter. It was scrumptious. Such a lovely evening. I think Charlie is actually dashing about to do the advent calendar. Oh, yeah. Are we ready?
Yeah.
We're ready. Let's do it.
We are filming.
Oh, okay. It's very dark because there's something.
There's a ghost in the lamp.
Yeah.
It's like a strobe light, but you know what? That's too bright anyway.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah.
We're very tired, but we can't go to bed without doing the advent calendar. So we're looking for day number 8.
This is the hardest one to find.
Is it?
Yeah.
Watch me find it really quickly now. Little Holly.
What? How weird.
That's so funny. Just because I was looking for small ones. Okay, day number 8.
It's not the best clue.
I actually don't know this. What is our oldest piece of furniture in the house?
But reread it as well.
What is our oldest piece of furniture in the house?
Yeah, because we don't know how old various antiques are, do we?
Our oldest piece of furniture, okay, that we've purchased.
Yeah, that we've owned.
Our bed from Clapham.
Let's check it out, mate.
Let's have a look. I don't know if this would be our oldest. Like, did we not bring any other furniture with us? That
No.
older?
No, we've got a couple of pieces of furniture that are up from our house in Clapham that are now in Strawtops.
Yeah.
So Strawtop number 3, as we're now calling it, has the unit under the TV, and Strawtop number 2 has a bureau.
Ooh. Oh, yay! This
These-
is why you wanted to give me these now.
Yeah, well, these are deliberate, obviously,
Yay!
because we have Pilates tomorrow.
That's so funny. I literally. Oh,
I think you've ordered the same ones. Ah, yeah, those are just a gym sock.
But this is great because I actually lost one of them.
Oh, really?
So I've got 3 of these.
So
now.
for the
Socks.
vlog's benefit, these are Pilates socks from
socks.
𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅, which Josie already has a few of, right? But they're a bit weathered.
I don't have any.
Oh, you don't?
They
Careful,
only-
you better to use scissors on those.
They
Can I just
only-
ask, why do brands insist on doing that? Those really weird plastic things that go through socks. It's so frustrating.
It is very annoying.
Please use
I'm not-
scissors
I'm
because
not-
you'll rip
yeah,
them.
I don't want to rip them. They're
It's so
gorgeous.
frustrating. But yeah, they've got little grippy bits on the bottom, which is obviously very good for reformer.
This is the best.
Yeah.
Best stocking filler you could get someone that does reformer Pilates. And are these grip? Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do 3 colours that you would like in the grippy, but there was one they were sold out of. I have a feeling it's the pink one. I have a feeling they do this one in grippy, but they were sold out, but we'll keep an eye on it. But those are obviously, make sure you only wear the grippy ones for reformer, because the more you wear them, the more the rubber wears away.
Yeah.
And then wear these ones when you're doing your other workouts. And you might have a few more in your stocking, who knows.
Thank you, darling. That's very thoughtful. I'm going to have to get you a pair.
Yeah, I mean, my Falk socks already have grip on them.
Oh, I'm excited to wear them.
There you
I'm
go.
going to have the poshest feet.
So
And
yeah,
our
this
Pilates
for the vlog's benefit. So this room we always talk about, and in that it bothers me that this bed doesn't, in my opinion, work in this room. However, the reason is, hopefully one day this will become a nursery, and therefore if we spent a load of money on a bed in here, it's only going to have to get dismantled and put, I don't even know where. So we're sort of living with it here. Many of you might think it looks nice. It just doesn't quite like, I can tell you now that with the lovely dark wood against the green, a dark wood bed here with a nice patterned, if you imagine a headboard that's patterned with kind of vegetables or like carrots, or, because we call it the garden bedroom. You imagine like a headboard with a sort of garden print, like a potting shed print. It would look amazing.
We call it the potting shed.
And I think hopefully when this becomes a nursery, I reckon it becomes a garden-inspired nursery.
Yeah.
That's what we want.
Yeah.
Carrots and turnips everywhere.
No dinosaurs for you.
No dinosaurs. Yeah, exactly. Because you can see the garden normally, but we've already got these cushions from Time, which are a hint. This cushion also bothers me a little bit, but there you go. There you go. Right.
Great. Wonderful.
Off to watch the jackal, mate.
And we're back up here. I have been terribly spoilt with all of my lovely Advent gifts, but I'm going to take off this. In fact, these were an Advent gift from Charlie, maybe last year, maybe the year before, the 𝑭𝒂𝒕 like face halo type things, and I use them every day. Okay, once again I apologise for this awful lighting, but super speedy evening skincare routine for those nights that I just can't wait to get into bed. So I've used my face halo and then the 𝑭𝒊𝒏𝒅 foaming cream cleanser. This is actually a really deep cleanse, and I love it for a double cleanse. My skin looks and feels super clean. And then just before I hop into bed, my everything magical in a bottle, my 𝑎mbergin serum in a cream. It actually says for Josephine on here, personalized, created just for me. So I pop on, as I mentioned earlier, 4 or 5 pumps. It's a really luxurious feeling cream, and it contains everything in it that my skin needs for the skincare goals that I shared in my questionnaire. So don't forget, I have got a discount code for this, which I'll leave in the description box down below, which will give you an incredible kickstart to 𝑎mbergin. I'd love to know if any of you are using it already and if you're loving it, and if you've got any questions about it, then you can ask them down below and I shall do my very, very best to answer them. But for now, my darlings, it's very late. I can't wait to get into bed. So thank you for watching Vlogmas Day 8, which I'm pretty sure I called Vlogmas Day 7 at the beginning. I'm sure you probably spotted. But I will see you bright and early tomorrow. Good night.